Thank you, Acting Chief Whip of the Senate. Votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 24th April 2018. Page 2595, 2596, 2597, 2598. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Lagos Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Oluremi Tinubu, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District. I rise to move that the votes and proceedings, which I haven't actually done, I rise to move that the votes and proceedings be adopted, and I so move.
Senator Rose Oko, Cross River North.
My name is Rose Oko, Cross River North. I second the motion that the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 24th of April be adopted.
Senator Binta, you want to jointly second it? I'm just joking. Votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 24th April 2018. Those in favor be approved, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 24th April 2018 is hereby approved. Announcements. Letter from Mr. President. Dear distinguished Senate President, supplementary input to the 2018 appropriation bill, purchase of Super Tucano aircraft from the United States government. I wish to draw the attention of the Senate to the ongoing security emergencies in the country. These challenges were discussed with the state governors and subsequently at the meeting of the National Economic Council on the 14th of December 2017, where a resolution was passed with the Council approving that up to $1 billion may be released and utilized from the excess crude account to address the situation. Subsequent upon this approval, we are preparing a comprehensive schedule of all the requirements for each of the security services for presentation to the National Assembly for consideration. It will be recalled that for a number of years, Nigeria had been in discussions with the United States government for the purchase of Super Tucano aircraft under a direct government-to-government arrangement. Recently, approval was granted by the United States government, but with a deadline within which part payment must be made, otherwise the contract will lapse. In the expectation that the National Assembly will have no objection to the purchase of these highly specialized aircraft, which is critical to national security, I granted anticipatory approval for the release of $496,374,470 US. This was paid directly to the Treasury of the United States government. I am therefore writing seeking approval of the Senate for the sum of $496,374,470, equivalent to $151,394,421,335 naira to be included in the 2018 appropriation bill, which the National Assembly is currently finalizing. The balance of the requirements for critical operational equipment is still being collated from the different security services and will be presented in the form of a supplementary appropriation bill in due course. The Honorable Minister of Defense and other appropriate officers will be available to provide further details as may be required. While thanking this distinguished Senate for the usual cooperation, please accept, Mr. President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari. Letter from Senator Ibrahim Abdullahi Gobri, appreciation letter. I wish to, on behalf of myself and my family, express a sincere appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Senate, my distinguished colleagues, for finding time out of their tight schedules to attend the wedding party of my daughter, Dr. Saratu Ibrahim Gobri, and her heartthrob Habib Abubakar Gajam, which took place on Saturday, the 21st of April, 2018 at Sokoto. We also acknowledge all those that sent in apologies for their inability to attend the ceremony physically due to other commitments, and believe they have included the couple in their prayers for a happy and prosperous matrimonial life. I wish to once again express our profound gratitude to all of you for your show of love and friendship, and pray that our God Almighty will continue to bless you abundantly. Senator Dr. Ibrahim A. Gobri. Invitation to my Thanksgiving service. I'm most pleased inviting His Excellency, the Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki CON, and the distinguished senators of the 8th Assembly to my Thanksgiving scheduled to hold on the 28th of April, 2018 at Port Harcourt. A formal invitation card will be issued later to all distinguished colleagues. His Excellency, my journey to the Senate has been very tortuous and long drawn, but the good Lord finally saw me through. To Him alone shall all glory go to. I will therefore be greatly honored with the presence of His Excellency, the President of the Senate, and my distinguished colleagues on these particular occasions. Yours sincerely, Senator Andrew Uchendu, ON. Distinguished colleagues, let me make an announcement of the joint committee that I mentioned yesterday, joint committee with the House on the invasion of the Senate. Members are Senator Ibn Nala as chairman, Senator David Umoru, member, Senator Ngbala Ondada, member, Senator Shehu Sani, member, Senator Samayan, member, Senator Nafada, member, and Senator Rose Oko, member. Petitions? Yeah, petitions. Yeah, Senator Uji. Let me take the petitions first. Yeah.
Okay. Your Excellency, the Senate President, my distinguished colleagues, my name is T.A. Oji Ochendo. I represent Abia Central. I have two petitions from two of my constituents. The first one is from a retired civil servant who now fixed his money in union homes with a view to getting some withdrawals that he will use in taking care of himself. But eventually, that bank has refused him access to both the fixed deposit and the interest. And he's writing to the Senate to help him out because he has no money to go to court to pursue the case. That's number one. The second one is from a military, an Air Force personnel from my constituency who went on leave and overstayed by 1 day with permission. But then, when he went back, they were not with him, locked him up for 18 days. Thereafter, they dismissed him. And he's now at home doing nothing. So he's asking for the Senate to intervene so that they'll have mercy on him.
You come and lay your petitions. Petition referred to Ethics and Privileges report back in 2 weeks. Leader of the Senate. Yeah, point out Matthew Rogide.
Mr. President, thank you very much. I'm Senator Matthew Rogide. I represent the South Senatorial District, otherwise known as Benin Kingdom. Mr. President, I am standing on orders 14 and 15, and by your leave, I want to read.
Go ahead.
To start from order number 14. Privileges are the rights enjoyed by the Senate collectively and the members of the Senate individually conferred by the Legislative Houses Powers and Privileges Act Cap 208, Laws of the Federation 1990 and other statutes, or by practice, precedent, usage, and custom. B, whenever a matter of privilege arises, it shall be taken up immediately. And C, in cases where adequate provision is not made in the standing order, the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. Then, order number 15, Mr. President, properly, is that any senator may arise at any time to speak on a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that a contempt or breach of privilege has been committed, or referring the matter to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. But if the matter is raised in Committee of the Whole Senate, the chairman shall leave the chair to report progress. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I very clearly, when you read the letter that came from Mr. President, over the payment that was made for the Tonkan aircraft, or Tucano aircraft. Mr. President, I was completely taken aback because I represent the people. And we are aware too that when I came to these chambers, I subscribed to 2 oaths. First, the oath of allegiance, and then, of course, the oath as a member of the Senate. Mr. President, that oath is very clear in the 7th schedule of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. And if we look at it, the first one there, the oath of allegiance, is very clear that I have sworn to uphold my allegiance to this Federal Republic of Nigeria, and then, of course, to the provisions of the Constitution. And if you look at the oath I subscribe to, that has to do with my membership of this Senate, I have sworn to uphold the provisions of this Constitution. The provision of this Constitution supersedes any other provision or any other interest that I have to express while as a member of this Senate. Mr. President, this letter that you just read to us from Mr. President, with due respect to the statute and the office of Mr. President, I want to say that what you just said, what you just read to us, is a violation of some of the provisions of the Constitution. I stand on it with every vehemence, and I want to crave your indulgence as I want to read section 80 of this Constitution. So section 80, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I crave your indulgence for me to read these portions, Mr. President, if you do not mind. Powers and control over public funds. All revenues. I'm reading this number 181, Mr. President, for clarity of purpose over all the misconceptions that have been bandied all around where funds of this country should be kept and where funds of this country should be disbursed from. 81 says that all revenues and other monies raised or received by the Federation, not being revenues or other monies payable under the Constitution or any act of the National Assembly, into other public funds of the Federation established for a specific purpose, shall be paid into and form one consolidated revenue fund of the Federation. 2, no monies shall be withdrawn from the consolidated revenue fund of the Federation except to meet expenditure that is charged upon the fund by this Constitution, or where the issue of those monies has been authorized by the Appropriation Act, Supplementary Appropriation Act, or an act passed in pursuance of Section 81 of this Constitution. Number 3, no money shall be withdrawn from any public fund of the Federation other than the consolidated revenue fund of the Federation unless the issue of those monies shall be authorized by an act of the National Assembly. And number 4, and finally, Mr. President, no money shall be withdrawn from the consolidated revenue fund or any other public fund of the Federation except in the manner prescribed by the National Assembly. Mr. President, what you just read to us violates these provisions. The President couldn't have ever, and no Nigerian citizen that is acting under the provision of the Constitution is allowed to make any disbursement or any approval coming from any quarter, whether it is by the Council of State of the Federation, or whether it is by the Committee of the Governors, or anybody in the Presidency without approval or appropriation from this Assembly. Mr. President, I think it is important to do that. We remind ourselves, because if we sit down here, tomorrow posterity will judge us.
Senator Matthew, yeah. Let me tell you, you've raised a very valid. Okay, just quickly learn and let me round up. Yeah.
And if you look at
Senator Matthew Rokidi, Senator Matthew Rokidi, you came under privileges and you are making a point on the subject matter. Fine. But the point is that this has come now as a communication. What we're going to do is you have your day. You have your day in being able to express your views. This has come as a communication now. We'll have to refer it, and during the referral, the debate on your points that you have raised, which would be dealt with. But today, it is just a communication. Are you clear? We have to always be guided by the procedure. Once we do that, we'll refer it, and in case of the importance of it, we can slate it for next legislative day. All the points you have marshaled, just keep it in your pocket, and it's not going away. But we just have to ensure that we go strictly by the procedure. This institution that we have here, you've always known that we always stand on what is right, and we always do that. So I'm not trying to take away your privileges for you, but we must be guided by the same rules that we have studied. So we'll slate it, we'll refer it, and that time you will have your day to make your contributions. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. The first business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator John Eno on the Federal Polytechnic ICOM, Cross River State Establishment, etc. Bill 2018. Mr. President, you may wish to invite.
Sorry, Leader.